Jay Halstead is at an interesting juncture in his life. The former military veteran turned police detective progressed in his personal and professional life in Season 9 of Chicago PD. Suffice to say, fans were excited to see what happens next for Halstead. But unfortunately, this might be the end of the road for the police detective. Jesse Lee Soffer confirmed his departure from the show after starring as the lead character for close to a decade. First up, is Jesse Lee Soffer leaving Chicago PD? Chicago PD entered the One Chicago franchise in January of 2014 after the show's lead character was introduced in an episode of Chicago Med. The show follows uniformed police officers and detectives of the Intelligence Unit for the 21st Division of the Chicago Police Department as they tackle major crimes in the state. Soffer's character, Jay Halstead, was introduced as your regular, won't-play-by-the-rules police officer. Halstead often butted heads with his superior, Hank Voight. Voight, in turn, refused to think of him as anything more than a mandated hire since Halstead served in the military and had friends in the police department. However, the two of them eventually came to mutually respect one another. Halstead learned to appreciate Voight's ways, and Voight admired Halstead's determination to protect those who needed him. In Season 9, the two characters share a pivotal moment in their relationship after fans are left to believe that Halstead might just take over the 21st Police Division. Needless to say, fans were at the edge of their seats, but if we know anything after 8 years of watching Chicago PD, we know that the series had to end on a cliffhanger. We'll know more in Season 10. But wait, Halstead might not take over the 21st Police Division. Don't worry, this isn't a spoiler per se, because Soffer announced he'd be leaving mid-season in Season 10 to pursue other acting ventures. Again, not a spoiler, but kind of like a spoiler. Soffer confirmed his departure from the show after starring in 187 episodes in an interview with Variety. For context, that's the number of episodes ever released by the show. Halstead's been in every single one of them. To create this hour drama week after week has been a labor of love by everyone who touches the show. I will always be proud of my time as Detective Jay Halstead, said Soffer. Moving on to, has NBC confirmed Detective Jay Halstead's fate in Chicago PD? Chicago PD is one of 9 shows in the One Chicago franchise, spearheaded by David Wolf as part of Wolf Entertainment. The series is a spin-off from Chicago Med, but in all fairness has earned an identity of its own, separate from its parent series. Although granted the two series do have a few crossovers every now and then, Jay Halstead was initially introduced as Will Halstead's brother, an attending physician at Chicago Med. The first 2 seasons followed the brothers' relationship, or lack of one, but from there on, Jay's pretty much been riding solo. Fans of One Chicago might have started off thinking of him as Will's younger brother, but they now know him as one of television's most hard-hitting, quick-witted, and talented detectives. Why are we telling you this? To establish that Soffer's role in the One Chicago franchise isn't limited to Chicago PD per se. He's an integral character throughout the franchise and Wolf Entertainment's universe. Which begs the question, how will NBC replace him? Well, the fact of the matter is that NBC kept quiet about Soffer's now confirmed departure from the series. In fact, in promotional trailers and posters, Soffer can still be seen as a central figure. NBC Universal released a theatrical poster for the 10th season on Instagram featuring Halstead, Torres, and Upton, captioned as, "POV, you're on a stakeout with these 3. The 10th season of Chicago PD is set to be released in September of 2022. Let's talk about Detective Jay Halstead's character arc. Detective Jay Halstead was first introduced as an undercover officer in Chicago Fire, where he was tasked with shadowing a local mobster who'd been harassing Gabriella Dawson, one of the owners of Molly's Bar. Halstead successfully manages to track down and arrest the mobster, but not before being shot. The ordeal makes him reevaluate his career choices, and he puts in a notice to transfer to the Intelligence Unit. This is where Chicago PD kicks off. Halstead is introduced as the latest member in Sergeant Voight's Intelligence Unit for the 21st Chicago Police Department. For the first 2 seasons of the show, Halstead's character arc surrounds his relationship with his brother Will from Chicago Med and his former affiliations at Chicago Fire. Basically, David Wolf tried to gauge the audience's interest in Halstead for the first 2 seasons. Fans loved him. By the 3rd season, the show focused solely on the Intelligence Unit, which meant that Halstead's character arc transformed from who he was to who he was becoming. We still got to see a few glimmers from his previous life, the woman he married before being transferred to Afghanistan, his volatile relationship with his brother after his mother died, and the resentment he had from his father after he essentially closed him and his brother off for leaving Chicago. In all this time, Halstead managed to progress in his personal and professional professional relationships. He married Detective Lindsay in spite of Voight's strict no fraternizing rule at the unit. He subsequently lost the people he once believed he could trust. Halstead had near run-ins with death and even had to fight with the post-traumatic stress from his tour of Afghanistan. Season 9, however, was perhaps the most pivotal season in Halstead's career arc. He was stable in his love life, he was progressing in his professional life, and he had just made a major bust. Things were turning around, but then Jesse Soffer announced that he would no longer reprise the role of Detective.Jay Halstead. What's next for Jesse Lee Soffer? Say it isn't so, but it unfortunately is. Jesse Lee Soffer is saying goodbye to the intelligence unit after 8 years on the force. Well, 12 if you count his time as an undercover officer in Chicago Fire. But the bottom line is that Jay Halstead will not be returning for season 11. That's right, Halstead is still a feature in season 10, albeit only until mid-season, since David Wolf probably wanted one of his best characters to get a fair chance at ending his story, and not an abrupt ending like they do in most shows. We're looking at you, Law & Order. What's next for Soffer? The actor has been appearing on screen since he was 6. He's most prominently remembered for his role as Bobby Brady on The Brady Bunch and a Very Brady sequel. The actor hasn't announced any prospective roles or directorial debuts as of yet, but we can't help but think that the news came after Benjamin Levy Aguilar, who played Patrol Officer Dante, was promoted to series regular for season 10. Maybe Torres becomes the new Halstead. We'll find out when season 10 is released this September. And now for other news. Kicking things off with the cast and crew pay their tributes to Anne Heche. American actress and Emmy darling Anne Heche passed away in early August of 2022. The 53-year-old actress died after sustaining life-threatening injuries following a series of car crashes in the Mar Vista neighborhood of Los Angeles. Heche had a recurring role in Chicago PD as Deputy Superintendent Catherine Brennan from 2018 to 2019. Soffer posted a picture of the two of them from Heche's last day on set with an emotional caption stating that he was still not over the actress's tragic demise. Soffer went on to express his deepest regrets for Heche's family and wanted them to know that she touched many lives throughout her career. A further post-mortem review of the actress's body, the crime scene, and overall tragic event is yet to be conducted. Not to mention, could Torres be the next Halstead? It's hard to imagine Chicago PD without Jay Halstead, but we can't help but wonder if Soffer's departure from the show had something to do with Benjamin Alvarez's character being bumped up to series regular. Detective Torres was introduced in season 9 as a man quite similar to Detective Halstead, sharp-witted, hot-headed, and a guy who had personal demons to fight off. It might just be a coincidence, because in all fairness, no one expected Soffer to quit the show after 8 long years on the fictional force. But then again, David Wolf might have seen it coming and wanted Halstead to have one last hurrah and pass the proverbial torch to Torres before he said goodbye to the intelligence unit for good. Oh, and we're not just excited to see Torres' journey in the show, but also Upton's character arc following Halstead's exit, wrapping things up with a casting call just might have ruined a season 9 cliffhanger. Cliffhangers, we love to hate them. Will they admittedly have us ripping our hair out? Cliffhangers keep viewers engaged and wanting more from the show. At the end of season 9, Chicago PD fans had more than something to look forward to in season 10, including the fate of Kim Burgess and Adam Ruzak's relationship. But it looks like a casting call for courtroom extras might have given it away. That and the fact that a theatrical release poster featured Ruzak in a suit, probably going to court. Our money's on the fact that Ruzak is adopting Burgess's daughter Michaela to finally start a family with his on-again, off-again love interest. That's a wrap for this video. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos you wouldn't want to miss.